Alright everybody, welcome to the second video in this series on the Sonivox Solina Redux. In this video we're going to go in depth into the user interface and find out what each of these parameters does to the sound and figure out how we can tweak them to get things we want done. So let's go ahead and jump into this video, and in the next video we're going to go ahead and make a patch together. So stick around after and make sure you find video 3. Alright, so here we are checking out the Solina Redux by Sonivox. It's essentially two VSTIs wrapped in one. We've got the Solina String Ensemble instrument right here, and that is combined with two analog oscillators right here. So it's essentially an analog synthesizer emulation in combination with the Solina Redux emulation as well. There's a mixer right here in the middle, step sequencer which can be applied to both the analog synth and the string ensemble over here, and then some onboard effects. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this track that I've made, and there's a couple of instances of the Solina Redux on here, and I'm just going to point those out real quick just so you can get a kind of a feel for the wide variety of what you can get from this instrument. And then I'm going to walk you through the interface a little bit more closely to show you what's available to you once you download the instrument. So let's go ahead and listen to the demo track. Alright, so first up we've got the bass line, which is driven by Solina. Next up we've got the plucky, kind of arpeggiated sequence. And we also have a pad right here. And I also have a second pad driven by the Solina Redux as well, which is over here. So quite a versatile range, but let's just go ahead and check out this first pad and see what we can't do to figure out the GUI here. So over here on the left, we've got the two oscillators. These are analog oscillator emulations. We've got the shape, we've got pulse width modulation, we've got detuning for the second oscillator, and the mix between that first one and the second one. There's a filtering system, a level, pan, and frequency knobs here for the first oscillator, and frequency fine control, level, and panning for the second oscillator. And then we have the amp envelope, which is going to affect both the oscillators combined. So this is the ADSR for both of those. Then we've got two LFOs here. We've got rate knobs, shape knobs, a way to tweak those shakes, detuning, filtering systems, panning, level, frequency, and so on. And we have the same thing for the other LFO as well. And then we have a filter envelope down here for the LFO itself as well. So if we want those LFOs to come in slowly and then sustain for a little bit and then go away, we can adjust that right here. We can also adjust the send amount from the synth, which is over here, and the instruments, which is this ensemble over here. Right here in the mixer tab, we've got a balance between the two, synthesizer and the ensemble. Panning, these are going to be master pans for each of them in case you want to have one on the left, one on the right. We've got a main filtering system, and we've got the frequency, resonance, amount, and the filter type. And if I switch from synth to instrument, you'll see that these are moved. So whichever one of these, synth and instrument, has the red dot is the one that you're going to be tweaking. And if you want to tweak the other one, you just got to click this and you can be tweaking the other one. And that's the same thing with the filter LFO. If I switch, you can see that it's moving a little bit. If I just kind of do something like this, you'll see that it goes back. So you just got to keep an eye on this to know which one you're going to be tweaking. Now, something I found really useful is when I'm trying to dial in particular sounds, I just go ahead and take the balance all the way to the left or the right, work on one sound, and then I kind of adjust the balance between the two once I have two really nice sounds and see how well they work together and move from there. Over here on the right, we've got the instruments, and we have a bass, cello, viola, violin, horn, and trumpets. To turn them on, all we got to do is activate them. Go ahead and slide it over. All right, so you can see there. And if we want to send any of these to the ensemble effect, which is down here at the bottom, we just got to turn them on. and that will send it to the ensemble effect down there. So it's essentially a one press send knob right there, and then we have the attack, decay, sustain, release, and glide functions for these as well right here on the side, and we can also go mono if we wanted to. This is the step sequencer, and again, if we want to turn one on, we got to go ahead and click it on. If we want to turn the other one on, we got to click it on right here. So this is the step sequencer for the synth or the instrument, and as we go down here, these will change because right now it's note, and then right here is going to be pitching, so up a full octave, another full octave, back down to 0. But if I go to level, these are going to be the level of the steps itself. Each one of these steps has 8 steps in the step sequence. Filtering is the same, and panning as well. So these are all going to change, and you want to pay attention to all 4 of those levels when you're going to be making your arpeggiator. So let's just say I got my balance all the way over to the right, it's just the ensemble. Let's go ahead and turn it on. So as you can see there, and I can turn it on over here as well. And again, we can flip through and have effects or control over each one of these 4 different layers. We also have the sequence mode, which is going to be the overall gate, the order of kind of how everything is played out, and we can shift up or down octaves as well. The latch control just means if you turn the latch on and press one key, it's going to play until you turn the latch off, essentially. It's really good for tweaking the sound, so you don't have to keep holding a key, you just let it ring out. Sync is going to be the sync for the tempo sync and the divide right here. Okay, and then there's also a swing knob that's actually really helpful. And then over here, last up, we've got all the effects. We've got the ensemble effects, and again, this is dedicated just to the ensemble instruments. It's essentially kind of like a reverb. I don't know how else to explain this. Let me go ahead and flip back over the ensemble for a second, and let's go ahead and send some of these to it. And over here is a reverb. So we've got the ensemble effect, we've got a phase effect, which we can turn on and turn off. And again, we can adjust how much of each one of those is being applied to the instrument or the synthesizer. And then we have a vibrato down here. And then there's a reverb for the whole thing. So you can't send a little bit of reverb to one and a little bit of reverb to the other. This is for the master output. And that's just a kind of common thing. You don't want 2 different reverbs on an instrument, just in general. So it's really helpful that that's set up that way. So anyway, that's just a quick walkthrough of the interface. I hope you have a better understanding of what it is. In the next video, I'm going to go ahead and make a patch. So let's move on to that.